Hello and welcome to Tarot Therapy here on YouTube. I've got a nice setup here showing you all of the crystals and some of my favorite decks, the decks that I pulled to use today. The spread I'm going to do today is the Spiritual Progress spread, which is found on psychic-revelation.com. You can purchase a reading from the lovely people at that website. I'm going to be doing one on my own here. I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. Okay. The first card I'm going to shuffle in front of you. The first card is where you are in your current spiritual cycle. The second card is your central lesson for this spiritual cycle. The third card of the 5-card spread will represent the influences in favor of spiritual progress. The fourth card will represent the influences acting against spiritual progress. And the fifth card will represent what needs to be done, what you need to do. Let's shuffle. Right. It felt about right. I usually shuffle more, but that feels about right. So where you are in your current spiritual cycle, I like to do my readings where they're always including as above, so below, pulling cards from the top to represent as above, and pulling cards from the bottom to represent so below. So this is a reflection of either the conscious and subconscious or unconscious, as well as it could represent the above being the collective and the below being your personal, your individual contribution to that, your perspective on that. Could also have to do with the top being how you present yourself and the bottom being how you actually feel, what's behind that presentation of self. For this one, when it comes to spiritual progress, as above, so below. I'll look at it as where the top will be where you are now, and the bottom is how you got there, what supports the meaning that expresses itself through those cards. So, as above, we have the Judgment card, which represents where you are, or where I am in my current spiritual cycle. The Judgment card is the card right before the World card. It's a major arcana, and it's right before the very end. There's an angel trumpeting. I think this card has to do with karma coming in. I think that what it's saying is well, I went to court today for a case. And it seems like, and so below is death, which is a new cycle, the ending of an old cycle and the beginning of a new one. So the judgment is that this cycle is over. Moving forward, karmically, spiritually, a lot of energy went into the previous spiritual cycle. And so this is what's supporting me getting here, is the ending of old habits and beliefs, patterns of behavior, though not always looked upon favorably for making those choices. And here I am almost at the very end of the cycle, having been reborn and cycling towards the very end. Now is the time of judgment. And it was a favorable judgment today in court. The next card is the central lesson for this cycle. Generosity and charity, balance, fairness, giving to those in need, sharing what you have in a balanced way. Okay? So below, the devil, being trapped and bonded, trying to get past restrictions to be generous, or being generous despite those restrictions. So the overall lesson for this cycle, based on these cards, is to be generous and to move past the devil, to move past any addictions or attachments, and be balanced in your giving. On the top, for influences in favor of spiritual progress, the Ten of Swords. So the Ten of Swords, something in favor of spiritual progress, then it would seem is the ending of a group, moving on from a group. So I was deeply betrayed by someone I loved very much and gave everything to. And it's a positive influence in my life that they are now gone. So, and this person here is definitely dead. Here we have the Death card. And then the devil as the central lesson, putting an end to it, letting it, going through the pain to move forward. So below, this makes perfect sense, we have the Three of Wands. That's about putting in the effort. So I might have been stabbed in the back in every which way possible after my generosity. Which was the lesson, which was very, very, very difficult to love anyway. To be generous, and to be generous in a way that was not dependent, that was not codependent, that was not unhealthy. Although in hindsight, it could have been healthier from some perspectives, but overall, there goes the music. What I set out with the intention to do was to love anyway, to just love, to give, to do so in a way as balanced as possible. If you look at these two, right here again. So the central issue, we got the Six of Pentacles here about giving, fairness, generosity, charity, things of that nature. And then you've got the Devil. But then the Devil has these two unclothed individuals chained to him in bondage. Whereas here is a gentleman with a similar two people beneath him. And instead of chaining them in bondage, he's feeding them and demonstrating balance. So that's the central lesson for this cycle. To not be bonded, but to give of the heart. And from there is balance. That doesn't mean everything's going to work out perfectly and you'll never get hurt. Certainly did. But it was what was destined, intended, fated to happen should I embrace the karmic cycle with the intention to move forward, to maintain my highest self. And that took a lot of effort. And that's what this guy's. I put in a whole lot of effort. I was waiting for my ships to come in, maybe, in the spiritual cycle, positive influences, for all of the effort put in. You know what? And with that, the positive, I put all the effort in, waiting for my ships to come in, so to speak. And this is what happened. The effort was met. The ships that came in were warships. Were ships filled with enemy soldiers who decided once they showed up, that was the end. Okay. The fourth card, influences acting against spiritual progress. Here we go. As above, we have the Two of Wands. Indecisiveness. Being stuck between two worlds, possibly. Staring at the globe rather than at the actual background of beautiful blue and pink mountains, water, lush land. Overlooking from atop a castle. Trying to make a decision. So what decision is that? I'm not sure. I've got a lot. Oh, wow. And to that point, for influences acting against spiritual progress, the Hanged Man, which is the Pisces card. I'm a Pisces. So this card can sometimes speak to a mob being against you. It's also, if you look here, this is the Jesus card. He's essentially being crucified. It's fairly messianic, and he has the halo around his head, which is a divine symbol, and can be paralleled to the crown of thorns that Jesus wore whenever he was crucified as well. This is a point in time. So this is the 12th card, or the death card that we have in the first position is the 13th. So underneath the decision that needs to be made is someone that's stuck. Maybe, that I'm looking for direction. Which way do I go? Guide on the spiritual journey, guided spiritually. This guy is still looking back a little bit at this gentleman who's been dead, stabbed in the back. So the final card is the what you need to do. So below, Six of Cups, soulmate card, childhood, nostalgia, things of that nature. Reconnecting with your inner child could be what it means, as what you need to do at this point in your journey to, especially here with the effort and the hung man waiting for ships to come in, just waiting. The as above card for what you need to do, spiritual progress, time alone, rest, restoration, recovery from illness. And here he is, protected with 3 swords hanging above him. That's a whole lot. That's a major improvement from this guy in the middle of the night on the side of the river with his blood draining into that river, murdered. Maybe this is the same guy who's been murdered and is now resting in the sanctuary of a beautiful church. And those swords may be above him. They may look like they're looming, but he's safe as he's being restored. And he will be back again, as this card indicates. And there will be a return to the innocence of childhood, to childhood dreams, to joy and playfulness, being childlike rather than childish. And that leaves us with the overall energy here of the 8 of Pentacles. So there's a lot of work to be done still here on the spiritual journey. Where can I put this so you can see it? I don't want to block that. Okay. I'll do this, I think. Oh, and just to show you, beneath that I just saw is the Queen of Pentacles as well. So that's what is being working towards. Okay. Now let's clarify these some. So when it comes to where I am in my current spiritual cycle, let's see. How about return of spirit? Return of spirit. So to clarify judgment as well as death. Well, let's see. I'm going to check the numerology really fast. There's no duplicates of anything. There doesn't seem to be any sort of matching up. And you've got 10 here, 2 here. So these 2 combined, and then that's 12. The death and the deciding and the figuring out how to move forward. And then you've got 10 here, and you've got 3 here, and that's 13. So the 10 and the 3, putting in all the effort and being stabbed in the back, that's death right there. Got 2 6s, cups and pentacles. 6s are victory cards. They're good. Okay, so Return of Spirit by Cheryl Harnish. These are beautiful cards with these like really amazing fractal images on them. It's just, I mean, I went to a Gypsy Soul Fair here locally, which was, I mean, I live in a small town, so that's like, whoa, what? You came to my town? It was really exciting. It was just when I was getting into this, and the woman, one of the very first tarot reading, I think, well, really, that I had for myself. That someone else gave to me rather than me always giving them to myself or to others, was with these cards. She had the horseshoe spread. I sat down. We chatted for about a minute, 2 minutes prior to that. And she said, pick a card. I knew exactly which one to go to. And the card that I selected happened to be the namesake of the deck, Return to Spirit. And that card indicates some really strong divine gifts, which was really cool. And that's what we talked about. And really helped, fortify me moving forward in this journey, which I was going to do anyway, but sure was nice. I'll tell you that much. So wherever you are, thanks, girl. You're awesome. I should call you. Give me your card if I needed anything. I should find a reason. Okay, card 1. Where are you in your current spiritual cycle? Commitment. The current spiritual cycle. Here, actually, let me let you see the image. Judgment has come, and I am committed to moving forward. Oh, that's awesome. And then below here, so the end of the old, and here comes confidence. So what supports the commitment to this spiritual path, to my spiritual progress, is having confidence in my abilities. After the story I just told you, I didn't look at the cards before that, but that's exactly what happened in that moment. I was given confidence, more confidence. That's pretty freaking cool. Oh, wow, this is good. I just got a peek. Okay, central lesson for this cycle. Wow. Okay, so the as above, we have rejuvenation. You see without the glare? Rejuvenation. So central lesson for this cycle is rejuvenation. The commitment and the confidence is where I am now. That makes sense. The lessons, rejuvenation, after all that, the hard times that often are what lead to spiritual awakenings and growth. That's learning how to rejuvenate and finding rejuvenation and generosity. Makes perfect sense to me. And then to go with the Devil card here, we have innocence. So, in the place of your central lesson, look at the card, it's so pretty. To not let others cast me in ways that are based on misperceptions or not knowing. To not let the negative influences make what's authentic and true feel any less true. The universe knows the innocence. Wow. Okay. So for the next one, the influences in favor of spiritual progress. This is pretty cool. I just got a sneak peek on the bottom. Influences in favor of spiritual progress. Intuition. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm making this video. Because my intuition became so strong during this last cycle. When I was found out when I knew I was being betrayed, my intuition told me, I knew it. The lies continued. And people are very good at lying. And people who like to lie tend to find empaths who will enable that. My intuition and getting into and learning the cards is what guided me to the realization of exactly what was going on and gave me the confidence to actually call the other girls and the other women to actually speak up and stand up. I intuited that this was happening, even though I was protected and didn't feel it. Okay. And there we go. And all that effort, as I said, feeling protected. Supported by the violet flame. The violet flame, for anyone who isn't familiar with it, the violet flame is the seventh ray of the seventh orb of ascension, and it's one of the highest orb that as I have learned. If that's inaccurate, please help further educate me on that. But the intuition and the violet flame, getting direct downloads from the divine. This also ties to Saint Germain, which is what when I had this first reading, she told me I was channeling Saint Germain. It's to do with the transmutation of energy as well, of negative energy into positive energy. So all of this pain and the intuition, the work and the effort That's the transmutation of the energy through direct divine downloads, which I really experience. I mean, it's a physical experience, and that's exactly what happened. Now for the influences against spiritual progress. That makes sense. Influences against spiritual progress. The right order. Who says what the right order is and what's not? Well, it's divine. It's divine timing. So, both this card, waiting for the ships to come in. And then this card, still waiting to make a decision. This card, waiting, stuck, not moving forward. This card, in basically a coma, recovering, a deep, deep sleep. And this card has to do with the past. So the right order, then, let's see, let me move these over. Might mean it's not quite time yet to get to where I really feel called and want to be, but I have to wait. And that is an influence. That's an influence against spiritual progress, because I'm ready to go now. So patience is a virtue. And then what supports the right order? Divine timing. Well, we've got gifted. So in this state of being stuck, oh, look how these beautiful purples are right next to each other. In this state of being stuck, it's an opportunity, really, to hone and develop these gifts, the innate gifts from birth. That's what this time is for. That's what the Hanged Man is all about. Okay, trying to give myself enough room here. Okay, now here we are back at what you need to do. Waiting for divine timing, honing gifts. And this time stuck is a gift. I think that's something else. Oh, wow. Okay. What do you need to do? Caretaker. Right along with the Four of Swords. Gotta take the caretaker, take care of myself, those and that which I love, and just step into that role. Taking care of other people, giving all of my energy to that. Now is the time, the wrong people. Now is the time to take care of myself and the right people in the right way, which I believe I've been doing, but it's still something that can be, refined and I can do further. And how do we do this? In a childlike state, from a pure heart, as the Six of Cups indicates. Pray. The card that came out is prayers. Use these gifts in the violet flame and the direct connection to the divine source, and pray not only for those that I love that are in my life by design at this point through the wisdom of gained through the experiences, but to pray for those who put the knives or the swords in the back. Pray for the hungry. Pray for those who were in need, whom, where generosity was given but not reciprocated. Pray for resolution of everything. It's all about prayer. Prayer, as the hard work is ahead, you're going to have to pray to keep going, to get there, to get from the hard work to the Queen of Pentacles that's underneath. It's the Queen or King? To the King of Pentacles. I said it wrong earlier. I mean, that's amazing, right? That makes so much sense. Right, and I'll do the top card as overall energy still. Integrity. So just maintaining integrity in work. That's always been my number one in work. I just don't see how you can do business without having integrity. Okay. Want to do another one? Okay. Where you are in your current spiritual cycle. Here. This will be pretty easy, so I'll shuffle these. And I may just do 5 rather than the 10. We'll see. These are pretty. I like these cards. They're fairly new. They're the Soul's Journey cards. They're pretty straightforward. They'll just say things like honesty, love, guilt, envy, freedom, things like that. So it's a great like wrap up clarifier. Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. So, Judgment as where you are in your current spiritual cycle. Commitment and Happiness is the card that was on top. I'm aware that being happy means I am on the right path. Oh, that's so funny. I had this amazing moment the other day during meditation. I was doing a reading for myself too. The Tree of Life reading from the Nature Spirit deck. And I had my noise canceling headphones on, and then there was no music or anything on them, just noise canceling. And as soon as I was done, I was like, should I do another one? I kind of wanted to because I like it. I like digging in, sometimes overthinking, and I'll go further really. When it's done, and I'll be like, wait, well, let's try one more. And as I was beginning to think about that, all of a sudden, and I didn't touch my phone. My phone was so far away, and I mean, I don't know how it happened, but all of a sudden the song, Do You Feel Happy? Oh, sorry, came on, and and I just started dancing like a maniac. And then, like, by the end of it, it was such a good reading and such a good moment, and so just like randomly serendipitous that song came on. And by the end of it, I'd gotten in a good, several minutes of cardio, and I just fell to my knees crying. I was so grateful that Spirit was talking to me in that way. I mean, it's nothing less than magic. Okay, but so on this journey, where we are, where I am in the current spiritual cycle, we have happiness. I'm aware that being happy means that I am on the right path, and beneath that is discipline. I can accomplish whatever I set my mind to. And that goes right here by death. So discipline, to have the confidence to be disciplined and to start something new. The Death card. The commitment to this, to the maintaining of commitment as getting towards the ending of this cycle, focusing on happiness. Okay. We've got rejuvenation. We've got the 6 of Pentacles, generosity, the Devil, and innocence. And, the card that came out up here. So rejuvenation, and then we have worry. And that might be worry that giving is a worry about the fairness of the giving. It says, I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. So, take a look. And then on the bottom, freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. Right. That would apply to anything, but when we've got the devil and innocence, that's being free from bondage. Because we are innocent. Even if you have sinned, even if you are sinning right now, God still loves you. And you can change everything in a single instant. There's never a moment in time, a nanosecond, to where you have to be in bondage. Freedom is always right there. So, next one. Oh boy, negative stuff up here on top. So, but here we go. This card of being stabbed in the back, of a major, major ending. I release the need to know all the answers. Doubt. So I felt doubts about what was going on, listened to my intuition, and I found out what I needed to know to really move forward. And then down here, the card of effort. The violet flame. And now we have service. I feel good when I can help others. So putting in the effort to do what it takes to support and empower and to create something real, to be of service, is the appropriate way to utilize the violet flame and the divine direct downloads from the divine. That's where the effort belongs. And to not doubt that. Or that service will resolve any doubt. Now we have right order as what is the oh, it went away. So what's encouraging spiritual progress? I think doubt encouraging spiritual progress as well is the questioning. So we've got right order and the Two of Wands, honesty. Honesty. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. Well, I certainly didn't get the truth here. Certainly did get the truth here with the violet flame. The right order. What is the right order? Is it the right order of the world, of society, the matrix? Making a decision. Being indecisive. Try being honest and just follow that. You don't have to make all the decisions, just be honest. And then the Hanged Man here, being stuck in self-sacrifice. And then we have gifted. Maybe being gifted for the sacrifices. And the card that goes with that for the Soul's Journey deck is balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. So far we have happiness, worry, doubt, honesty. Gotcha. And I can see this too as the central issue. Worrying, needing rejuvenation, but worrying about having freedom. Worrying about whether or not I'll be deemed innocent. Like I said earlier, I was in court today. It seemed to go well. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So the fifth card, I'll do as below first. The childlike prayers, reconnecting with that part of yourself. Judgment. As above, so below. As it begins, so it ends. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. And to pray for them anyway. From the heart of a child, without judgment. That has been an immeasurable gift that I've learned. I used to struggle with forgiveness, and I've learned the best way to do that, the best way to forgive, is to pray sincerely for the people who have hurt you. And above, along with caretaker and rest and rejuvenation, is adversity. So what to do? Adversity. I accept the challenges are the best way to learn. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. So to accept the reality of where I am in my spiritual journey and progress, to do so without judgment, to continue taking care of myself and doing what it is that Source requires of me in order to fulfill what it is that is asked of me, the reason we've been put here on this earth during this lifetime. And not to judge the adversity, not to judge the self, to remain innocent and to pray, and not to worry about judgment because of adversity, not to doubt because of adversity or judgment. And then here again, balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Next card is judgment, representing what to do. And while I've worked really hard, I think I'm doing really great, we can always, always, always continue improving. Everyone has moments that show their breaking point or their weak point, where they're not their highest self. I certainly can relate to that. We'll do the top again. So we've got the Hanged Man. We've got rest and rejuvenation, taking a time out. And then we have adversity and judgment. So maybe that's the what to do, is to take care of the self in the face of adversity and to continue to pray without judgment. And when feeling judged, continue to pray. Overall, patience is the overall energy. I accept that everything happens in divine order. Pretty apropos, don't you know? All right, I think that'll do it. I could keep going, but I don't know if you guys want to watch this for another 30 minutes, so thank you so much for joining me, and hope that was as fun for you as it was for me. Bye!